Welcome back to another video with the podcast, guys. Before we get into that video, which will be a reaction video, make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, hit the notification button, support the channel, and push us up as we are giving as much as we can back to all of you. So let's get into that video.
Women do not like men. And the reason that most women don't like men is because these men try to hold them accountable and don't let them play the victim. You have to understand that a lot of women will intentionally date piece of shit men just so they don't have to have accountability in their behavior in the relationship, because it takes two to tango. And then these women come across my page and assume that because of what I talk about, I'm against them. But the reality is that everybody is sick of the excuses for your poor behavior. No one is trying to invalidate your experience. We're just trying to tell you that you played a part in the downfall of how your life is and the things that you've gone through. Additionally, women only like men for what they can provide for them. So as soon as the money runs out or whatever it is that they're looking for, that's why they have the backup plans or the rosters or whatever it is. You have to understand, if you learn anything from my platform, is that women do not hang around people that do not validate them. This goes for friendships and romantic relationships. And they don't even realize that it's happening 9 times out of 10. Because the only reason that women stay friends with women is, one, if they don't like the same man. Like, as soon as 2 girls like the same boy, that's the end of the friendship. Or the other scenario is like, if one girl is a hoe and is out here having a roster and the other friend's like, nah, I'm just going to hang out with my boyfriend, or I'm going to be single and work on my career, that's also not going to work. And why is that? It's because those 2 people are not validating each other, which is why women cannot stand men. Men will hold them accountable. Men will make them honest. Men will tell them shit that they don't want to hear, just like you'll tell them, you know, the lashes are ugly, the makeup is ugly, all the bullshit that women do is ugly, and they don't want to hear it because you're not validating them. And women will preach all day long that men are the ones that hate women, but at the end of the day, I have to wonder if women really hate men because, well, you're not agreeing with them. Okay, bye.
So another great video of a woman stepping forward and just telling it how it is. You see, I agree with what she's saying. The problem is, nowadays, women are so accustomed to getting free, undeserved validation. Okay? They're used to just getting it, like, without having to do anything for it. They're so used to society kissing their ass and lifting them up that the moment you challenge them or you call them out on something, they think you hate them. They think you're coming from a hateful place, which is false. You know what I mean? That's why podcasts get so much hate. That's why so many people take podcasts and what they're saying, they take it out of context because they take it as hate. Women are so used to just having their asses kissed that you can't say anything negative, because right away you're a hater or you're narcissistic or you're immature. So,
Well, the big question is, right offhand, is do women hate men? What do you think?
it sure seems like it. The way women have been acting over the last few years is really weird. I'm 37 years old. I've never in my life I thought it would get to this point where women are the way they act towards men, the general attitude they have towards men is very unsettling. You know, society paints men to be these like toxic people that were creeps. Now they're saying that guys are like incels and all this stuff. It's like, where the hell is this all coming from? Like, it makes you kind of wonder, like, is this just like the result of social media? Is this like are they being programmed or something like that? But do I think women hate men? I don't think women necessarily hate men, but I think they act like they hate men because, like she said in the video, what women need from men is validation. And it's getting to the point where men are tired of giving women validation for nothing. That's where I think this all starts.
So you're saying that women should earn their validation
100%.
if they want it.
100%, because I think they've gotten so much of it for free. I mean, think about, like, use anything as an example. OnlyFans, Instagram, like any dating apps, like all it is free validation for them.
I agree. I mean, there's guys out there that are simply just like you said, they're kissing these women's asses. They're going on and posting wherever they can post on these women profile pages saying, oh, you're cute. Oh, I like you. You're the best. Sending them money on OnlyFans.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, all these things add up where these women are just getting validated every day. It's more validation, and there's none of them are earning it. You know, they're just being given it. What have they done to get this validation? Because they look good? Not a good excuse. Not a good excuse.
And I could see how it could become extremely addicting for them, because when you get an endless supply of it, why would they stop? Right? It's nonstop. They could get validation nowadays. They could get validation from anywhere, and they could have an endless supply of it. So I could see how like relationships are falling apart, and how women are starting to become more kind of standoffish, and they're just harder to approach and deal with in general, because they're going to get what they want no matter what. But they don't. You think they're going to care about one specific guy? They have an endless supply of validation.
I caught something pretty interesting out of the few things that I caught, and it's that which we've been saying all along. Women use men for money, but the part afterwards was really something that, you know, kind of refreshed my memory a little bit, and it's true. Once that money runs out with that guy, does she need that guy anymore?
Yeah, I caught that too. Yeah.
Nope. She's gonna go on to option number 2 or plan B. And once that guy isn't good enough money-wise, financial-wise, you're going to go to the next guy. And then the next guy. I mean, listen, fellas, she has guys blowing up her DMs. She has guys blowing up her text messages. You ain't the only one. Sad to say. It's unfortunate. Because you would think that you would have that loyalty. There's no loyalty. She doesn't give a damn about you. It's a sad reality. It's a sad reality. Again, I'm not saying all, but most women are like this. And who can blame them? If they're being given validation, if they're being given money, if they're being given time, resources, attention, they're going to take it. It's just natural for them to take it all in and say, wow, I'm that, you know, bitch, pretty much.
This has really come to think of it like probably the best time in history to be a woman, because you can pretty much get whatever you want with zero accountability and zero expectation. It doesn't matter what you do. You could do OnlyFans. You know, you could trick guys with, you know, Cash App and Venmo scams. You could do whatever you want. There's no expectation from the female side, and on top of it, society kind of pushes them up and supports it. And like I said, I think the validation aspect of it could become very addicting for them, to the point where they're not willing to ever drop that or trade it for something else. So
I also caught another thing where she said that women aren't friends with each other if they like the same man. So that's another thing. What does that mean? Women are jealous of each other. And if they say they aren't,
stop the cap.
You're BSing, because, ladies, sometimes you're competing for the same guy. I mean, I've seen women, you know, bang the same guy after they banged, you know, after the other friend banged that guy, and then, you know, they just jump between, you know, the guy jumps between those women.
We've all seen that one play out, and she said that, and she also said that like women need validation from each other. So even if like one of the friends wants to hoe around and the other one wants to settle down, that'll end the friendship. Or like if they just don't see eye to eye and they don't support each other's same lifestyle, that'll end the friendship. And I've seen this happen countless times in real life, where like a group of girls was friends, and then like a year later, none of them talk anymore. And I'm like, what the hell happened? And you find out that it was over something like that. One got into a relationship, one didn't like her friends or something like that, and they even need validation from each other.
When they say opposites attract, that to me is a fallacy. It's more like similarities attract. Hoes are going to hang out with other hoes, and they're going to hoe around. Or, which I see a little bit, you know, there's a woman that has a boyfriend hanging out with another woman that has a boyfriend, so they're doing couple things, and then they exclude everybody else and just keep, you know, hanging out as couples, couple time, you know, whatever. And you don't see it where there's a girl that has a boyfriend that she's loyal to, and then her friends are, supporting that, truly supporting that. What you see is women bringing them down to their level. So if a girl's hoeing around and she has a friend that has a boyfriend, she's going to try to find a way to ruin that relationship so she can bring her out back to hoeing around with it.
100%.
It's just a matter of time.
There's always that girl in the group that will do that too.
They'll convince their friend why they're better off being single than being.
You can do much better
guy.
Than him. He ain't shit. Yeah.
It's always like that. Guys ain't shit.
Yeah.
Guys ain't worth it. Cheat on him.
Meanwhile, she's a stripper or something like.
Exactly. So it goes to show that the more as a guy you give, the more women will take. And some of the things that women will take is your sanity. I mean, women will drive you crazy. You'll do all these things for them, and then all of a sudden they'll, at a blink of an eye, they'll break up with you. And you won't know why. You won't know why. You'll just have to sit there wondering, pouting, moaning, and groaning. If you're weak-minded about it, as a man, if you are a strong-minded individual and you're like, well, I have other options, then as a guy, then you're going to be well off. But how do you create other options? You don't do it by being an average man. You do it by putting yourself on a pedestal, by putting yourself into a high-value man, at least into that conversation. Because at the end of the day, we tell guys, as other podcasts do, that you have to become high value to get somewhere, especially with women. But most guys don't make it, unfortunately. There's going to be, the majority is going to be low value men, which is the lower 80%, and the top 20, maybe even the top 10% are the high value men that, get all the women.
And, we were just talking about validation. Why does being high value work? And I think we even did an episode on this, on how women prefer pre-selected men, because when they see a man that has other women, that also validates them when they're one of those women, right?
Yeah.
No woman wants like a guy that has no girls, because there is no validation for them. To them, it's, if anything, it's like
it's proof.
It's proof. It's social proof. And women hate hearing this. They prefer guys that can clearly get women, and by going after a guy like that, it plays right into the validation for them.
Oh, he's successful? That's his girl? In their mind, that woman's thinking, well, I want to be with him too.
Yep.
So
some women will just do that. Like some women will just go after like those high-end guys only, and even if it's only like a sexual relationship between them two, that's enough to her to get her fix. Right?
It's a reason why women go after married men.
Yeah, another one. Yeah, good point. Yeah,
there's plenty of single men out there, but
I'd like to hear the woman explain this one.
They want married men. Why? Because there's proof that they can be the head of the household, right?
Yeah.
They can take care of a wife and kids. They can pretty much watch out for them as a man, and that's what women want. They want a leader. They want somebody who's confident. They want somebody who's assertive. They want someone who has money. I mean, you have to have money to have a family as well. At least, some sort of.
There's an old trick that guys used to do where they would put on a wedding ring and then go out to bars, because women would always look to see if they have the ring, and it would work because they would chase after the married guy. And it's funny you brought that up, because it's 100% true that some women will go after married guys, which is just another form of pre-selection. So
that's a good way to do it. But you really want to. Eventually, they're going to see through that. You want to be yourself, but you can't be yourself if you're an average guy. So you have to change your whole, person as you are as a man, and get all these, get a checklist. And are you a leader? Are you confident? Do you have some status? Do you have a job where you make a lot of money, or do you invest in things? Women
are very good at reading that stuff. They can read it. They can read it just through your body language. They could sniff it out immediately, and that's why it has to be authentic, because you can't fake it.
And And another thing I caught from what she said was that everyone is sick of their poor behavior and their excuses for their poor behavior.
How many times have we said it?
You want to be successful as a man, so you don't have to tolerate any of this poor behavior. But of course, it's not just about money, status. I mean, you have to have game. You have to be working out in the gym, look good, smell good, dress good, the whole 9 yards. So it's very important that you focus on yourself in order to gain the best option out there. You don't want to chase someone that's not treating you well, that's not holding themselves accountable,
And when
that
and
might
when
not
women
like you.
when they smell that you're obsessed over them or you're chasing after them and you're putting them on a pedestal, they will lose even more respect. It's crazy. Like they will, if they see that you're too into them and that you're like really chasing after them, they will, and that's how kind of the friend zoning starts too. Because again, you give them free validation over and over again. They already got what they needed from you, and then they're on to the next one. They're not. Why would they hook up with you, right?
Women don't like men because of the kind of guy he is, because he's nice and all this stuff. They like men for what they can provide. So you have to put yourself at that point where if you want a specific type of woman, beauty, all this stuff, a woman that's going to bring you peace, silence, sex, as they say, sandwiches, as much as that sounds disrespectful, it is what it is. If you want a woman, that kind of woman, to be around you in a relationship, or just as someone to, at least have a good time with, then you have to have that list of characteristics of a high value man, or the majority of them, because again, as I said before, not all men make it to being high value, but you can try. There's nothing bad in putting in effort in improving yourself, because keep in mind, you're not just doing it for her, you do it for yourself.
Yeah.
Do it for yourself. Don't do it for her. She's just a byproduct of you putting time, effort, energy into making yourself a better man overall.
Yeah, I think women could sniff out if like you're on a purpose or if you just kind of like exist. That's like nowadays it really matters. It used to not matter back in the day if you just had like a job and you were financially stable. Like nowadays it just doesn't work. The dating game has completely changed. You have to have a more exciting lifestyle, and you have to be always on the move, like working on something. Otherwise, they sniff it out, and they're not fazed by it, because again, like we said in the beginning, they have so much free validation. Most of these women, especially the attractive ones, they're already way past dating regular guys, and they step it up each and every time. That's why it becomes so difficult.
And you said an important word there: dating a man with an exciting lifestyle. Right? Or exciting life.
Nowadays, it's pretty much a must,
This is why she said in the video that women like to date piece of shit men, because those men tend to have an exciting lifestyle.
Yeah.
It's entertaining for them. It keeps them going.
Oh yeah, we've all seen it. When every guy has had this scenario where he sees like a super attractive woman with like a piece of shit guy, and you're like scratching your head, like why is she with that guy? Why isn't she with someone else? And that's exactly why, because those type of guys usually have very exciting lifestyles. Some of them are in and out of jail, or they're covered in tattoos, or they're like bad boys, but it doesn't matter to them because, and you know what? It's interesting because that's a very specific category of woman that plays into guys like that. But
masculine women,
masculine women, or women that
they want.
In that case, they're not even benefiting financially from guys like that. In cases like that, it's usually more sexual and attraction.
Right. Yeah.
So they know they're not going to have anything real with that guy or anything long term, but it's that temporary
fun,
excitement.
That temporary excitement.
Yeah.
Yep. They need somebody that they're masculine. They need somebody that's 10 times as masculine as they are. That's not many feminine women out there.
Yeah.
But that could change, ladies. You could.
Women would be in their best if they really want to have like their selection of like quality men. Women need to learn to get back into their feminine. Stop with this bullshit of like, oh, well, I'm masculine, so I need a more masculine man, and I'm an alpha. I hear females now saying that and I was watching an Instagram story, and this girl called herself an alpha female, and I'm like, shit, what's going on? Like, this is just getting worse and worse. I don't know how this is all going to play out, how dating is going to change in the next 5 years, but I see it getting worse than it's going to get better. But I think from a male side, the only thing you could do is adapt to this.
Ladies, no man wants an alpha anything.
Erase that from your vocabulary.
Yeah.
Imagine that, an alpha. I'm dating an alpha woman.
The thing is that with the ladies out there, it starts with them changing. If they want what they truly want, then they'll change. But if they want to keep going in the same route, play the same charade, they can do that. But the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. So
women usually learn, unfortunately, too late when they get too old to really have their prime pick of a man. We watched one video today. We just did another reaction video to another woman speaking to something similar, and we said it in that video. Women tend to like wake up and they see the truth and they have their life experiences, and next thing you know, they're like 40 years old when they realize all this. And even men also have to like go through life and like learn from mistakes. But the only like plus we have is that age is not a restraining factor for us. Even if you wake up at the age of 40 and go, this is how it is, you still have time to like make something happen. But as a woman, you really don't have much choice, if any, at that age.
I mean, no matter how much hate we get ourselves, there's people out there that can say whatever they want, but we're in the prime of our age, and we'll go into our 40s and 50s and still be fine. But
I'm not worried about my age whatsoever.
For the ladies, there's a time limit, and that's why eventually these modeling gigs and being a stripper and OnlyFans and doing all these things will eventually hit that expiration date. And then what? What do? Don't make the mistake. If you're someone that hasn't got into that, a woman that hasn't got into that sort of thing, avoid that mistake. Do something that's going to push your life forward in a positive direction. Because, people can say what they want to say, but yeah, they're making, some women are making $1,000 a month on OnlyFans or $200,000 on OnlyFans a month. But eventually, where is that going to lead you? Men don't look for women for their money. Men look for women for femininity. They want women to be in the feminine role, and being in that feminine role is not women going out there and making boatloads of money. Obviously, there's women that they're single and they have to live and whatnot. Obviously, you have to have a job, a career, do something that will help you, live. You have to be able to live life and eat and, have a place to stay and clothes and all that stuff. But for you to push, tons of money, have your own place, be this boss babe, we've said it over and, we'll say it again in the future. Time and time again, we bring it up. It's not going to win you over a guy. It's not. Guys, that's what guys focus on is taking charge and making money and being financially sound. That's what guys do. That's what guys are focused on, because that's the accomplishment that fulfills men, is having something to strive for.
Yeah, without a doubt.
So what's your last conclusions out of all that we've talked about and we watched?
Well, the general topic of this whole video was like, do women hate men? And my final thought on it is I don't think that they truly hate men. I just think that is like the way they're acting towards men right now, because they're getting a bunch of free validation. I think it's getting to that crossroad where men are starting to step back and starting to hold them accountable. And like, we're in this weird time right now. I think everybody feels that kind of tension between men and women right now. And you see videos all over. Women are making their own podcasts, men are making their own podcasts, and they're all just kind of trashing each other. So it's interesting to see how over the next years how things will play out.
Yeah, I mean, my takeaway from this is, I agree. I don't think women hate men. I think that's too extreme. But I do feel that many women don't like men. I feel like if they did like men, they wouldn't be acting this way. They would understand a man. If they want something from a man, then they have to understand that a man wants something from them too. So it's a two-way street. It's not one-sided. It's not, get your cake and eat it too.
Yeah.
So for that reason, and for the reason why, you know, women have a tough time adjusting and changing and adhering to standards that men have, and just, you know, jumping around between guys or just, you know, staying single, is because of the fact that they want to do what they want to do, no matter what we say, no matter what other podcasts say. And, you know, you'll have the very few, the exception, that will, you know, realize, wow, what these guys are saying, or what these podcasts are saying, what we're hearing is the truth. And, you know, we should make a change if we want a better life, at least better relationship life with men, you know, better private life. But a lot of people, you know, will hear this, and a lot of women will hear this and they won't adjust, you know, and a lot of men will hear this too, and you know, they'll fall into the trap. You know, men have to stay awake and avoid these situations and put themselves in better position to get better women. So
I think life teaches you the most important lessons through just experience. And I think, unfortunately, a lot of the women that are in that phase of their life are just they're not going to listen to what podcasts say. They just have to kind of like get thrown in the fire and then learn the hard way. It's same thing for men. It's like you simp, and then you get burned and you realize once and for all, like, okay, this is not going to work and I have to change. Women are just going to have to go through that and learn the hard way.
It's mostly by experience.
If
you go through something that really affects your life, then, you know, usually that's when a change occurs. But even then, you know, people go through the ways that they feel most comfortable and they stick with their old ways sometimes. But again, not changing doesn't help. So that's pretty much what I have to say with that. And with that said, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you like what you heard. Share the video with someone you know may need this information, and like the video. It's all free, and you're helping us out while we're trying to help all of you out. So subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching the podcast, guys, and we'll see you next time.